Resume of former video. The culture behind these Ural artifacts and monuments, in our view, was involved in mining, metallurgy, and production of tools, including complete warfare, more than it was involved in pastoralism. This during the onset of the Bronze Age, and almost certainly was related to the contemporary population turnover events, which were discovered by David Reich and ancient DNA research, the dawn of the Indo-European languages also detected by David Reich, this north of the Caucasus, and the somewhat later Bronze Age collapses of former and older cultures and writings, this to the south of the Ural-related steppes, this like south of Caucasus, the Caspian Sea and the Black Sea. The newcomers from the landings on the facades of Europe and western Eurasia, even western Siberia, and eventually facades of Africa. And the Ural culture from the steppes would affect the older and typical Bronze Age cultures more to the south, as far as the Persian Gulf. These newcomers, as said, were active in a higher impact metallurgy, more efficient production of superior warfare and chariots. That they eventually used themselves, but more probably or also provided as trained domestic horses and complete chariots and diverse warfare for the elsewhere already present or arriving from the North American new groups, which would form the corded Ware culture and Beaker culture, as well as Vikings, and at the end the actual Europeans. Carrying Y-DNA haplogroup R1a and R1b. Bronze Age. During the Bronze Age, bronze tools and weapons were widely used, marking a significant shift from the Stone Age. This era saw the development of complex urban societies, the rise of writing systems, and advancements in various technologies. Urals. The Ural is a geographical region located around the Ural Mountains, between the East European and West Siberian plains or steppes. It is considered a part of the Eurasian steppe, extending approximately from the north to the south, from the Arctic Ocean to the end of the Ural River near Orsk city. The border between Europe and Asia runs along the eastern side of the Ural Mountains. Ural mostly lies within Russia but also includes a part of northwestern Kazakhstan. The Volga River and Ural River are both related to the Ural Mountains and Ural steppes and both drain in the Caspian Sea. All of them connect Europe with Siberia. Ural artifacts, Sintashta, Yamnaya, Indo-European languages. The relation of the Ural Mountains with Mesolithic artifacts, cultures, and metallurgy makes sense, because that is also the region where the Sintashta culture would develop, although later during the Neolithic. The Neolithic Age, or New Stone Age, began with the development of agriculture and domestication of animals, roughly around 6000 BCE, and continued until the Bronze Age. We see similarities of the Ural Mountains artifacts with Gobekli Tepe and Mesopotamia artifacts. We hypothesize that the Ural and its steppes and its related cultures, that came from and would receive reinforcement from the Americas, North America, would also play a role in the activities of the Sea Peoples and the late Bronze Age collapse, including the collapse of Ramses III of Egypt. The late Bronze Age collapse is a widespread societal decline in the Mediterranean and Near East around 3100 BP. This collapse was a complex process involving multiple factors like the Sea Peoples, drought, and economic disruption. We of origin for existence claim that the droughts were a consequence of the Younger Dryas climate destruction, and further degradation of soils and vegetation because of extending and intensifying agriculture, at the cost of forests and agroforests. While Egypt, under the rule of Ramses III, initially repelled the Sea Peoples, it ultimately succumbed to the same challenges, leading to internal strife and a decline in its international influence. Out of Americans to the steppes and European facades. Apart from all essential ancestral markers, extensive 3 population tests, involving many thousands of peoples, link above all other comparisons, the Native Americans to North Europeans, further confirming the Out of America's claim made in the title of this chapter. With their ships and fleets they also could navigate from North Europe and possibly from North Siberia to the Mediterranean along the facades or more probably directly through the river systems that cross Europe and western Eurasia, just as later also the Vikings would do and also landed north of the Black Sea, which has connection to the Mediterranean through the Bosporus, as well as yet other river systems that also rendered access to even the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. The Tigris and Euphrates rivers, crucial to the ancient Mesopotamian civilization, originate in eastern Turkey and flow through Syria and into Iraq, where they meet to form the Shatt al-Arab, which empties into the Persian Gulf. Both rivers were and are integral to the region's history and water resources. While Mesopotamia is known for its non-Indo-European languages like Sumerian and Akkadian, there are traces of Indo-European languages in the region, particularly in Anatolia, modern-day Turkey, and later in the Indo-Aryan migrations into the area. All these out-of-Americans also would interrupt the advanced and complex economies of the Bronze Age. These Bronze Age collapses led to the destruction of several cities, weakening of states, and the loss of cuneiform tablets across the Fertile Crescent. The Fertile Crescent was, also, a consequence of Gobekli Tepe, and would be the most affected by the Sea People activities and the Bronze Age collapses.